This is a refresher on standard EE8 for 8th grade, systems of equations. So this says line W is represented by the equation y equals x plus 3. Line Z goes through the points 1, 0, and negative 3, 4. What is the point of intersection for the lines W and Z? So what this means is that if these two lines were to be graphed on a coordinate plane, what is the point where they would intersect? What is the point, the solution that would make both equations true? So they already give us one equation, y equals x plus 3. So this would be that the y-intercept of this line would be at 3, and the slope would be 1. I don't have a number in front of the x, so really that's like there was a 1 there. So our slope is 1, y-intercept is 2. For the other line, all I'm given is 2 points. So to find the line, I can first find the slope. I have negative 3 and 4. To find the slope, I need to find the change in the y's and the change in the x. So to go from 0 to 4 is going to be an increase of 4. And to go from 1 to negative 3 is going to be a decrease in 4. So y over x, 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. So my slope for the second equation is negative 1, which we can represent as negative 1x plus b. In order to find b, I'm going to take one of my points and use that in my equation. I'm going to choose the point 1, 0 because there's no negatives, and that's always easier. So my y value is 0. My x is 1, so it's going to be negative 1 plus b. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I get 1 equals b, my y-intercept. So my second equation is y equals negative x plus 1. Now we could graph these two equations by hand, or we could use the graphing calculator. So the first thing we need to do if we're going to use the calculator is hit the y equals button in the top left corner of your calculator at the top. Once you're in the y equals, you're going to see a bunch of y's. In your y1, go ahead and type in x plus 3. The x button is below the y equals a couple rows. And in y2, put negative, using the negative key, x plus 1. Now, make sure that the plot function up top of the y's, so right here where it says plot, make sure that's off. So if it's darkened, that means it's on. So scroll up and hit enter so that it goes off. Now you're going to hit graph, which is on the right hand side of the top row, and you should see your graph. So when you graph it, your graph should look something like this. This is the point of intersection. It's going to be at negative 1, positive 2. So this is the solution to the system of equation. This is the point where the lines, this is the point where the lines intersect. Alright, this word problem says Sammy picks blueberries and strawberries. She earns $3 for each pint of blueberries and $2 for each pint of strawberries. Sammy earned a total of $28. She picked twice as many pints of strawberries as blueberries. How many pints of blueberries did Sammy pick? So here I am looking for, I'm going to pick out my question. My question is asking for the number of pints of blueberries. Just going to put BB to shorten it. Okay, I have here, I know the cost of everything, and I know the amount in comparison to how many strawberries and blueberries. So one thing I see is I have two unknowns, so I'm going to go ahead and let one be X and one be Y. So I'm just going to say X is going to be the blueberries and Y is going to be the strawberries. Doesn't matter which variable you choose. The one thing I see is that I have a total. I have a total of $28. So that means one of my equations is going to have to equal 28. This also lets me know that one of my equations is going to be in standard form. So how does she earn a total of $28? Well, she earns $3 for the blueberries. So I don't know how many blueberries, so that means it's going to be 3 times X, because I let X be the blueberries. And it's $2 for every strawberry. So she's making $2. I don't know how many strawberries she sold, so that's going to be 2Y. So this is my equation in standard form. Now let's look at the next piece of information. It says she picked twice as many pints of strawberries as blueberries. So when I read that, that's telling me that the strawberries was greater. So the strawberries, Y, were twice as many as the blueberries. So twice means to multiply by 2. Again, she picked twice as many strawberries as blueberries. So the strawberries is 2 times the amount of blueberries. Now, in order to find the blueberries, I need to use substitution to solve this system of equations. So I'm going to choose the equation that's by itself. I'm going to box this in. So anytime I see Y in my other equation, I'm going to put 2X. So it's going to be 3X plus 2, and again, instead of putting Y, I'm going to put 2X, because Y is the same as 2X, equals 28. 3X, I'm going to use distributive property, plus 2 times 2. And that's going to equal 28. Combine like terms, I get 7x equals 28. I have no constants, so I'm just going to divide both sides by 7, and I get x equals 4. Now let's go back to the question. The question was asking for the number of pints of blueberries. Well, I just found x, and x we did have as blueberries, so I am done. 4 pints of blueberries were picked. Okay, let's take a look to see if this one's different. A cable television company offers 2 different pricing plans. Plan A charges $11.25 per month plus a one-time installation fee of $120. Plan B charges $18.75 per month plus a one-time installation fee of $60. After how many months will the cost of Plan A be the same as the cost of Plan B? So I'm looking for the number of months for the cost for the plans to be the same. So essentially, I want Plan A to equal Plan B. So the one big thing I noticed that's different from the last one is I'm not given a total for anything. I don't have an equation that's going to be equal to one thing. I have 2 different plans that's represented 2 different ways. So this one is actually going to be set up with 2 equations in slope-intercept form. So I can say Y for this plan A, I know it charges $11.25 per month. Since I don't know the months, that is going to be my X. I'm looking for the number of months. A one-time installation fee, that's like our y-intercept. It's happening one time. Now for plan B, I know it's $18.75 per month, so $18.75x with the installation fee of $60. So even though I have 2 different plans, my variables are really talking about months and cost. So now I want to know, again, when will these two be the same? So when will plan A, 1125x plus 120 equal plan B of 1875x plus 60? Now, technically, you could put this into the calculator. However, given the large numbers and it possibly not showing up well on the screen, you can also just solve this using what we know about two-step equations. So I'm going to get rid of the smaller value with the x first. So I'm going to subtract 1125x from both sides. This gets rid of that, and I'm just left with 120 equals 7.5x plus 60. I'm going to move my constants now, so I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides, and I get 60 equals 7.5x. I need to divide both sides by 7.5, and I get x equals 8. So I was looking, this 8 is representing the number of months that Plan A and Plan B would have to be used for the cost to be the exact same. So again, this one was different. I didn't have a total, so I didn't have an equation in slope-intercept form. I was just comparing two that had the same variables of cost and months. So I had two slope-intercept form equations.